I don't understand, because why? The women on the court both trying their hardest and giving everything they have, and they make a noise. Is that a problem of tennis? It happens in every sport. So I think maybe it's time to just put it aside and not talk about it all the time, because this is not what is important when there are two players playing on the center court. We gotta look a little bit past that and see what, oh my God, Serena played 24 aces. Did any of the guys do maybe in that match? Look at the good stuff. Stop bringing this, ridiculous stuff. Let's put aside the noise and how she looks and look at the game. And the game proved itself today.
Learning to do that is not something you can, a coach can teach you. Adapting is something that happens real time. Is that something you feel like you're better at than maybe you were when you were younger?
Well, patience, definitely experience. It all plays in my favor, I would say, this time. I think adaptation is that it's okay that you fail. It depends how you come back from it. And I see a lot of, in women's game, particularly, I see so many coaches that make their players dependent on them. And I think that's very dangerous. It's very manipulative too, and I wish that kind of subject was talked about a little bit more. And really I think the job of the coach is to teach your player not to need you, and I hope that young players really look for that, to really depend on themselves, because it's an individual sport. Listen, be very open-minded, and absorb and be like a sponge. I've heard Serena talk about that, being a sponge at 23 Grand Slams, so many titles, and kind of have that learning student mentality, but really take control of your own career a little more. I mean, it's a very sensitive subject, because, you won't hear those stories unless players come out and tell those stories. It happens right and left on the tour, which is unfortunate. And our job, is to be better at safeguarding. And, as player council, it's almost like number one subject, to us, because we see those, vulnerable young ladies that getting taken advantage of in different situations. And it's really sad. It really makes me emotional, because I have a son that I don't see, that happens so much on the men's tour. And if I had a daughter and I would have a question, would she want to play tennis, that would be a very big concern in that way for me. So just recent story with Fiona Ferro that came out. It's I don't know how to put it in words sometimes. All you can do is check in on the person and kind of give your hand what I can do, what I can help with. So I applaud her for being brave. I hope this situation, she's going to come out of it stronger, and tennis is not ruined for her because of that. And that's I think a very, very heavy topic. But the problem here is when somebody's winning, nobody's going to go and say, okay, that's the thing. And when the winning stops, it becomes dark, and there's nobody to hold your hand. And that is the moment where is not talked about. I don't know if I feel different just because as a mother. I don't identify myself on the tennis court as a mother. I still identify myself as a tennis player, and me being in the quarterfinals is I didn't get there by being a parent. I got there by being a tennis player.
Both those possible matchups?
Yeah, both really different game styles. I think, the rise of Barbara has been pretty incredible over the last year and a half, basically since COVID. She seems to kind of elevates her game more and more. She has all the good tools to play. She can play aggressive, she can mix it up, so very dangerous player. We played once in Ostrava and it was pretty tight match, actually really good quality. And Ostapenko is a surprising player that you kind of never know what's going to be out there. She seems to be able to raise her level a lot against top players, so it makes her very, very dangerous, as I've noticed in Indian Wells when we played against each other. So both a bit of a different game style, but pretty difficult matchups for sure. But it's second week of a Grand Slam. I don't expect any easy matches here.
You seem like you have a light around you, so I'm really happy for you, Vika.
Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate it, and I wouldn't have think of anyone better to do this interview with. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you've done, inspired, motivated. Continue to do so. I love how you come to your academy and brighten up everybody's day, and like kids all of a sudden start to move their feet a little faster than than the other days when you're not there. So I mean, in my head, before I had some of the situation that I had to go through, I thought that I'm going to stop. And then, but okay, let me see. I was prepared to start if the consequences of a certain situation were going to turn out one way. I was ready to stop. But they turned out a different way, and I made a really conscious decision to try one more time to play. So I don't know how close that is, but I was pretty ready to stop. I mean, I didn't touch a racket for about 5 months.
Going to shake your hand, and were you expecting that, or were you surprised?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I don't believe that making a big deal out of it is important. I always shake hands with my opponents. I had the same situation with Yastremska in Washington. It is what it is, I just move on. I cannot force anybody to shake my hand. It's their decision. How did I make me feel? It's not the most important thing in the world right now.
David? How would you describe how much more difficult it is to be a player who is a mother as opposed to a player who is a father?
Wow. Well, physically, let's start with that, is experience that you go through and men don't go through, the whole physical experience of becoming a parent. And I think mental is a little bit different. Attachment and a different thought process when you become a parent, compare men to women. So, but physical, I think, is the biggest difference that we experience.